6 acts in it, and I think I did the math, and it was like either 5 or 6 acts.
Like, particularly the ending is really, really expensive, and it got pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it is a CGI fest after a while.
Yeah.
Not to get into it too much, but yeah.
I think they might have even had real actors. That might have made it go over the budget too.
Yeah.
Like most of the film only has like the 4 henchmen or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones films are kind of known for like having big set pieces where there's huge crowds of people and stuff like that. Yeah. That's like common Spielberg kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in this, like, I feel like they used CGI or something instead, and that drove up costs or something. I don't know. Yeah. And also, like, the world building felt like it was like it didn't feel like I feel like they kind of crossed a certain threshold when like Indiana Jones felt like he was rewriting history in terms of like, oh, he's just gonna like go down go down in the middle of a major parade in New York City, you know, and like be really conspicuous and become the world's most wanted man in the world. Whereas like in the other Indiana Jones films, it feels like you could kind of feasibly think like, oh, he's
like James Bond or something.
Like
no one knows who he is.
No one knows who he is or something. It's not like he's like, because otherwise that would really change his character if everyone knew who he was, right? Yeah. Like that would be a big issue because you can't just fly in a plane or like just be in a random person. Everybody would be
plane stuff is really bad because like.
Yeah, like.
Should I even say this because like it's sort of a spoiler? But I was like, I mean, some stuff you can't get through TSA with.
Yeah, there's no TSA at this point in time.
Oh,
like,
oh really? Oh, that would explain it. Okay.
Yeah, TSA happened after 9/11.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness, like all those people got jobs, though. That's a good thing. They got jobs.
Yeah, but the other thing about this is that maybe doesn't work is like, even if there's no TSA, right?
Yeah.
There's still like the fact that he's like on the news. There's like a part where he's like on the news.
There's even a guy in the movie, and he's like, "Hey, you're that guy.
You're the guy.
The guy who's on the TV.
You're the guy in the news." And then like he has to sneak to the airport. But then, like, he's on the plane and nobody cares, and he's like holding all these like artifacts and like documents and stuff. He's like very conspicuous. He's obviously the guy that everyone's talking about. It just doesn't make any sense. It feels like a plot hole that like
a lot of plot holes.
It feels like one of like many plot holes that like don't feel like.
And it might be because like they had no time to like add another scene because. It was only 2 hours and 30 minutes, so like they just shoved it all into like one scene.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very detail oriented. It feels like they tried to paint in really broad strokes. They're like, we have the CGI going, we have the CGI teams working on this. We got to do all these set pieces. We got to shove them all in here, and like maybe as a result, a lot of the details had to be skimmed over and stuff. And I don't know, and maybe I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but like, I don't know. Like it definitely feels like it's different from the other Indiana Jones films, and I don't know. It's also at the same time it's part of Disney, but I have no idea. There's so many different moving parts. It's hard to say what exactly happened with this. Also, another thing that felt like a plot hole, which like you can interpret it as you will, but like he's old, you know. He's doing all these crazy stunts. He's like jumping off of things. He's diving. He's diving underwater. He's like riding horseback and stuff. Like he's going full throttle. He's like, and like they don't really bring it up at all. They don't ever say, "Oh, you gotta be careful. You gotta." He's like, they bring it up like one time, but like nobody. People still view him as like as dangerous as he was, as strong as he was when he was like 30 years old or something. It's very weird. I feel like it should have been brought up more.
I felt like that was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like even in Rocky, you know, they try to like lean into it where it's like, oh, you don't have the same stamina as
Rocky
you
was sort of like grounded like prior to Rocky 4, which got really ridiculous.
Okay.
Even Rocky 3 where he's like fighting a wrestler or whatever.
I don't have that much suspension of disbelief in this where I'm like, oh, of course he can do this. He's a B-movie hero or whatever. Like I feel like Indiana Jones felt like it should have had a little more realism. Or at least just acknowledge it a little bit more. Because he's like, I don't know, he's like, he's like jumping around and like jumping from like moving vehicles and stuff. And like punching people's lights out and stuff like that.
I guess that's going to make him more conspicuous at least, because like, yeah.
Like there's nobody else.
in all of Morocco who's doing this, who's knocking out like the mafia guy and whatever's going on there.
Yeah, like it's very. He just sticks out a lot. Like I feel like with James Bond, you could kind of believe it because like it's a different guy each time.
Yeah.
And like he's a young guy, you know, like, but like this is like
he's only Indiana Jones.
And also, even Indiana Jones should talk. Even if other people aren't talking about it, should Indiana Jones bring it up a little bit more? You know, like, hey, I can't do the same things. I gotta rely on you guys more.
I felt like when they did that, it got really cringy humor-wise.
Oh, they were doing the references and stuff.
And
like,
it was already bad enough in like Crystal Skull that like it was really bad. I felt like
yeah.
I just feel like they converted it more eloquently. So like,
yeah,
I'm old. I'm 80 years old. That's the humor. It's not like not really well, very good dialogue regarding it. Like
the detail orientation. Like I feel like a lot of stuff slipping through the cracks. They're kind of like letting things slide, like kind of hoping people just like forgive them or whatever.
It sort of felt like Seinfeld, and it was like Uncle Leo trying to steal batteries in the bookstore. It's like, I'm old. Jerry, I'm old.
Cut me a break, I'm an old man.
Jerry, you sold me out.
I did feel like the opening, I feel like I was more into it like towards the beginnings of the movie. And like...
Till that part where all of a sudden there's like these young students who are like playing loud music and then he's very upset.
I felt like that was...
That really threw me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is going to be like a Spielberg film. I was like, what's going on here? This is like King of the Crystal Skull again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to recapture the same thing, especially when it's a different director and stuff.
And they already did capture it in the last movie, which is 50 years ago.
It also, like, something about the picture quality felt off. Like, it almost felt like it was, like, converted to 3D and then deconverted from 3D or something. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Like, it's, like, fuzzy or something, you know? And, like, there's, like, another thin layer of color or something that's, like... I don't know, they like over-processed it or something like that. It looked
like a cartoon.
There's something uncanny about it. It felt like I was watching Tintin at points, and not just because it was like Spielberg and like adventuring, but like it felt like the CGI felt like it was a cartoon, like you're saying. Yeah. And like, but it's also mixed with live action elements, which felt, but not in a good way, you know. Yeah. And let me see. You said these points here.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't see the trailer, did we? Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, this is the last points you made.
What was the thing you said before we watched the trailer? I forget.
Done with the lighting, the characters, the how conspicuous he is as like a
before
guy.
How conspicuous he was.
I mean, I barely mentioned this part, but I mentioned, like, I like this stuff where when they're going into history and science and stuff, I thought that seemed pretty cool. I didn't get to bring that up too much. I thought that stuff was cool. You know, the history references was cool, and how that comes alive in this movie is pretty cool. But, you know, that's fine enough. I don't think it's a positive point in the movie. Yeah, there's still a lot of problems with it, though. We were talking about the other movies, I guess, and how it compares to like Crystal Skull and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like visual quality.
Yeah.
Sometimes the acting seemed a little off.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how to deliver the lines, maybe, or something.
Or maybe they're just on a tight production schedule or screening things or whatever. So they had to go. Yeah, chop, exactly.
Yeah. I will say that maybe the strongest points for me in terms of the story and acting are like when Indiana Jones talks about like, hey, I'm old, I'm alone. Like, he's talking. He says it much better than I do. But like,
I don't think he does.
Well, like, there's like the dramatic moments, like on the boat when he's like talking about like his son and stuff like that.